Hello, everybody. Captain Marty here. It is Friday the 13th. How about that? Anyway, it is what it is. It's time to go fishing. There is some opportunity. There's some places where there's some really good opportunity, and I'm going to tell you where those places are when I come back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm LB Daniels, and when you want great local seafood, you go to Fresh Capt Seafood in Wanchese. How do I know it's great? My daddy is one of the fishermen that brings it to the docks. At Fresh Capt Seafood, you will get local seafood right from their fish house. They are a family-owned business that knows the name of every fisherman that comes to their docks. Visit their social media pages to see the latest catches. My daddy would love to put his tuna on your dinner plate, so get it now from Fresh Capt Seafood in Wanchese.
Welding. It's ultimately the use of lightning to fuse metals and steel together, and at Wanchese Metalworks, that's what they do best. Specializing in marine fabrication and repair on sport and commercial fishing vessels, Wanchese Metalworks does fuel tank fabrication, rod racks, rocket launchers, T-tops, towers, struts, rudders, trim tabs, and green sticks, just to name a few. They also do interior and exterior handrails and stainless kitchen work too. Whether it's MIG and TIG or arc welding, Wanchese Metalworks does it all. They're the realest of the real when it comes to metal and steel. Wanchese Metalworks, 102 CB Daniels Road, Wanchese.
So since I last talked to you, we have had a little bit of offshore fishing, and that's mostly out of Oregon Inlet, and it included blackfins and yellowfin tunas primarily. That's a good thing. It's a nice little mix. The blackfins are the smaller tuna than the yellowfins. There are still king mackerel and blackfin tuna to be caught down in Hatteras as well, but most of the offshore news is the bluefin tuna. Now, we know that off Oregon Inlet, the bluefins are going to be a January through March fishery, mostly for the giants. And you will hear me talk about fish that are over and fish that are under. That's the cutoff point. I forget what it is in inches, but it's roughly a 400-pound bluefin tuna. And the rules are completely different, but the 400 and up to, well, they'll max out in our area around 800 pounds. I'm talking about one fish, 800 pounds. You're allowed one per boat per season, if you are properly licensed and hold the permits. The unders I'm talking about are the 100 to 350, 400 pounders, and those you're pretty much allowed 2 per day per boat. So the reason I bring that up is the unders are being caught up off of Rudy Inlet, Virginia Beach area. They've been there for a week or more. Talked to Captain Johnny Savage, author of the book Lost in the Stream, and old buddy of mine, captain up that way, longtime captain. He was telling me that they got a pretty darn good bite going on those 100 to 350 or 400 pound tunas, bluefin tunas. That's good. Now, all the way down at the other end, down around Morehead City, down in that neighborhood, there has already been a couple of 700 plus pound tunas put on the dock, and I think there's been one put on the dock over 800 pounds. And those are close to the beach too, by the way. Many times you can catch them while you're looking at the beach. So for us at Oregon Inlet, when we get a hold of those big ones, we're usually way out in the Gulf Stream. When we catch the ones that we're talking about, like up at Rudy Inlet right now, those are in a mid-range area, and we don't do a lot of that fishery. I used to do it back when I was a mate and a captain, but now it's go for the gusto and go for what they call the giant bluefin tuna. So that's going on out there. Along the beaches, most of our piers are closed, but looking at reports from Tony Lombardi at walkingangler.com and some of our pier and tackle shop reports, seems like it breaks down to right now 3 things, and that would be a puppy drum, a black drum, and some sea mullet. The sea mullet bite's been pretty good down on Hatteras Island, mostly the Tri-Village area and on down to Buxton. There's still a few yearling and occasionally a bigger drum being caught, but mostly it's the slot-sized puppy drum. So you got that going on, and then you got those black drum, and they are not the great big ones, but they're more like the ones you love to catch. And Alan down at Tradewinds Tackle used to talk to us about for years about how much he loved a small black drum. So that's the 3 things that are going on there. We'll take a little break right here, and I will be back in just a moment to talk to you about what's going on in the Pamlico Sound.
Boasting phenomenal seafood dishes, a great menu, and waterfront views with deck seating, Striper's Bar and Grill at the Shallowbag Bay Marina in Manio serves a casual, fun-filled dining experience with an Outer Banks flair. With 3 floors to choose from, you're bound to find the perfect seat for you and yours while enjoying great food and fantastic drinks. To see our menu and to catch a glimpse of the beautiful views, go online to stripersbarandgrill.com. Striper's Bar and Grill at the Shallowbag Bay Marina in Manio, where everyone's a VIP.
As far as the sound fishing goes, or the backcountry report, very good trout fishing. There's not a whole lot of other things to talk about like we've been doing it for a while, but Captain Dickie Harris, he's been back over to the Western Sound. He's a good source. He has reported some great catches. I think they caught like 90 to 100 speckled trout the other day, and a lot of those, of course, they let go. You can only keep 4, but the bite is on, and some of those fish are up and over 4 pounds, so that's really, really good. What I did not hear anything of is the last couple days is bluefish, black drum, or puppy drum in the Sound. And you may have noticed after a summer full of talking about the sheephead bite, that seems to be ebbing. Maybe it's not as much effort. Maybe it's the cooling off of the water temperatures back in the Sound. We're looking at low 50s right now. It would be a good average temperature. So, but the speckled trout bite is really, really good. And especially from the middle, how do I put this? From the Dare County line, let's say the Dare County line down through Englehart, Swan Quarter, around to Bellhaven, and even further down the Sound Shore is where the biggest part of that bite is going on. That's a lot of area, a lot of estuaries and creeks. And anybody that says, Marty, you're giving away all our secrets, I didn't give away any secrets. That's a big body of water, plenty of room, and plenty of guides available if you want to see how the professionals do it. It's a great way to shorten the learning curve. So that is what's going on. That's our fishing report on this Friday the 13th. The weekend is upon us. If you do go fishing, please be careful. File a float plan. Make sure you have good flotation devices on your boat, good bilge pumps, and plenty of buckets. That's what old Cat Marvin Midget used to always tell me. It's amazing how much 4 or 5 people can bail water when the boat is sinking. But you can't do that if you don't have some buckets. So every boat should have a good anchor, a good chain, a good rope, plenty of buckets, and file a float plan. Then you'll be much, much safer when you do go out in the Sound this time of year. So keep all that in mind, and I hope you have a blessed day.